Hey everyone, Thomas Jackson here. Really excited to share with you an amazing experience I just had. Right behind me is the Challenger Learning Center, and basically I got invited out by Michelle, the director, to speak at a panel event where I joined three other panelists, and we got to share some stories about both our life, who we were, and how we got into technology. These were non-STEM students that were being basically introduced to the world of STEM, and we really just had a bunch of questions about technology, and I got to represent the AR and VR side of it. This is for youth leadership of Tallahassee, and that was what really made it special. These are some bright kids that applied to be a part of this program, and I can't wait to see where they go. So I hope you enjoy, and look forward to the next one. Really hard acts to follow, to be quite honest. Kind of blown away, but Thomas Jackson. I was born and raised right here in Tallahassee, and love this city. Honestly, I'm kind of really proud I'm from here. I went to Florida High, but I did Florida High.
Yo, yes sir.
I love it. Basically, it's a great school. Love that school, and kind of felt like I was going to have a bright future somewhere. I just didn't know if I would always stay here, But coming out of, I guess let's go back a little bit before. Growing up, I've always loved tech my whole life. Like, just been on quite literally the bleeding edge of places. I would go to forums, just start talking to people, and it didn't matter where it would be, Germany. We would get on AIM and translate to each other. It didn't matter. I just liked being on the bleeding edge of wherever tech was happening in the world. And all I needed was the internet to do that. It's funny, like I said, it wasn't as easy back in the day. I alluded to dial-up. I literally remember having both 14K, 28K, and then 56K. And all of that would basically barely allow you to download an MP3 in about like one song in like an hour.
Seriously.
That's what I had to grow up with, right? So as you can imagine, it was frustrating to not be able to get information as fast as I wanted. Now you guys just have it and nobody even thinks about it. We got 5G networks and it's ridiculous to us and everybody here, right? But in reality, it hasn't always been that way. But so I stayed here in this town despite the frustration. In fact, I actually got moved out to this little, I was kind of in the sticks. I was basically in a dirt road, and I commissioned Comcast at the change of 56K when we got cable here. I called them so many times, they finally took my call and they said, okay, well, if I get my entire neighborhood to sign a petition and say that we want cable, Comcast cable, they will buy it if you bring it to our neighborhood, they would do it. And so I literally went to all my neighbors and got them to sign a petition so that I could have internet for our entire neighborhood.
Democracy in action.
So I stayed here, and that was when I was 13, and then and kept just kind of tearing it up in this town, or trying to. But so flash forward a bit, I graduate TCC in Florida State, so I'm so humble and excited to be working in the TCC Center for Innovation, because it's kind of a dream come true to come back around to the alma mater where I was at. Feels like forever ago. But so basically, and when I was graduating college, I had to decide what I wanted to do. It's okay. That other word, or get off the pot, right? And so I was looking at Silicon Valley, and to be honest, at the time, Silicon Valley felt like the golden opportunity of everything. Lately, I think everybody's starting to figure out that it's not all it's cracked up to be out there, but I thought seriously about it, and I almost went to Facebook. I had some friends that I thought could help get me out there, and that maybe open up a lot of opportunities and start bouncing around different companies and working with Google and all these different places. But something came over me and just told me that, well, at the time I started falling in love with two technologies, 3D printing and virtual reality. And they were right on the cusp of being created. Meaning, when I told you I was in that forum, well, I was in a forum called Meant to Be Seen 3D. I think it's still up somewhere. And I was just back, and this is in 2012, right as I was getting ready to kind of graduate college. And I was just in this forum because I looked for the idea of virtual reality. I've done this since I was like a little kid, but this was well before there was any actual headsets that you could put on. And it was just a collection of people that were interested. Well, Paul Lucky, who would be the inventor of the Oculus Rift, and go to Kickstarter and now is owned by Facebook and worth millions of dollars, was in that same forum, and he was the most excited kid in it. I only knew of about maybe 4 or 5 different headsets that existed in the world. He had collected 48. I didn't know that 48 existed. He had every military version you could get, every version in the world. And he came to us or posted to the whole group and said, hey guys, I think I'm onto something and I'm going to do a Kickstarter, and will you guys support me? And everybody was like, yeah, we will definitely support you. And a few months later, sure enough, a Kickstarter pops up for the Oculus Rift, and I was blown away. I was like, gotta have this, but still not really knowing what it was going to be. When I put that headset on for the first time, I instantly knew this is going to change the world. Not even a question. Well, the reason I bring this up is because when I just came back from the Reality Hack event, I ran into a kid who was exceptional, many of all of you in this room, and basically met his family. They actually were just traveling up there to visit the campus, and I was there for this amazing event, and I basically got to take him up and show him the event. They were blown away, and now I'm going to mentor him. He was from Orlando. Well, I posted that on Facebook, and Palmer Luckey saw it, and the creator of the Oculus. So it kind of comes full circle that if you're just putting yourself in the position of where things are going to happen, you'd be surprised what can come out of that. Just putting yourself in the position. That's what you're doing right now. Putting yourself in these exceptional, times, spaces where you can learn and kind of grow.
They say you can't make a play if you're not in the game.
That's right. That's right. And so, long and short, when I fell in love with these technologies, I decided I wanted to stay in this town because of what everybody's been talking here. I really love this town, and I felt like they would be missing out on this amazing opportunity of what these technologies were going to do. That if I stayed here, I could help work with the community and the leaders here to help really figure out what all these use cases for business, like we were saying, were going to be for them, and then start instituting here in my community first before I go anywhere else. And I just felt like that was the way it should be. And so I'm on that journey. It all kind of culminated up until literally, like I said, 2 weeks ago at the Reality Hack event at MIT, where I quite literally met some of my dream hero people. Some of these kids are just blew me away, but most importantly, it's what they were there to build over the course of 3 days. They challenged at a hackathon. Everybody ever participated in a hackathon or been to one? Wow, congrats, that's awesome, man. It's really cool. I highly recommend you guys try to do it. You don't have to go necessarily to build anything in VR. You can build anything in tech. And we actually have one that I believe we're still doing every year at Hack FSU, which I was a part of the very beginning of that, and I'm still trying to be there every year. But basically, you show up and you get in a team, and then you challenge that team to build something that's going to help hopefully change the world in less than 36 hours. And to give you an idea of one of the cool stuff I've seen kids in 36 hours build things like a test that can allow somebody who has Parkinson's, they can put their hands in an apparatus, they can run a series of tests that can determine with 75% confidence level whether or not they actually have that. And then we'll actually then alert in real time the doctor, their clinician, to let them know they should come in for a follow-up testing. And these kids did this in 36 hours. So some of the stuff that comes out of it really does turn into entire businesses. But more importantly, it inspires everyone around the place because you can kind of see what technology, which is the focus of all this, can do, especially when applied with people who are bright and brilliant and creative and smart and open-minded. So I think that's a good way to end it. But, yeah.
Talks about it all the time.
I'm terrified by cybersecurity. It's something that we all should be aware of. We should know how to use it in our personal lives and in best practices, whether it's through our business or like online banking. Do not ever connect to public Wi-Fi. Free public Wi-Fi, please do not connect to it, especially if you're going to then go on your banking app or shop online or do any of these things. At all times, some of these companies have 3,000 data points on every single American.
Can you name 3,000 things about yourself? They can give me
cybersecurity.
3,000 points of data about you, and they've never met you before.
I think the scary part about that is it doesn't really scare me. I'm only scared about what I don't know is coming around the corner. Like how far is AI technology? How far is certain things that we can't fathom yet? Like what is our government, some really crazy scientists looking at? I'm one of the folks that my sharing on stuff is not a big deal to me. I mean, if you want to use the platform, you're going to have to play by those rules. Like, you're going to have to give up that data. I'm of the mindset that they're going to use that data, hopefully, or at least more times than not, to serve me ads that are probably going to be of my best interest in the first place. It knows, now again, they're going to use data, many people use data against you. But you can't, there are a lot of people who are using data in good. Like, they're making recommendations based on your data format.
I'm definitely optimistic about the future for sure, but there's definitely some stuff that being it like reality hack, it's pretty obvious that this could cause some issues. I don't know if you guys, anybody ever watched the show Black Mirror? Okay, well, they bring up a lot of interesting ideas that I quite literally already start to see come true. A guy that I can now call my friend, Mike, he's an MIT researcher in AI now, who's there, shared a story with me how 4 years ago he plugged into that open Facebook API graph that she was alluding that kind of was out there. And I don't know if you guys heard a couple years ago about the Cambridge Analytica scandal that happened, and basically where everybody found out, oh crap, all our information is out there being tagged. Well, Mike was explaining to me how he had already kind of taken advantage of that. 4 years ago, he, with an AR headset, it was like a prototype, wrote a program that basically, while you were wearing the headset, it would basically take pictures, like computer vision of anybody who was looking at it in the room, and would automatically start referencing their face towards that Facebook Open API graph. And then in real time, as you're walking around, you could look and see that's Pete, and this is all his information and everything, and it was all happening in real time. This was 4 years ago. So when, like I said, that headset comes out soon and these things start happening, it kind of opens up this whole new world of how can this technology be used. And that's exactly why I think it's so important in what you were saying, that we need you to be informed. Because if you're not informed in this stuff, then we can't work together and figure out, kind of as a society, how do we want to shape it? Because if we can't have the discussion about what it is, then we can't all collectively come together and say, how do we want this technology to be in our lives? And I think it's really up to your generation, because I don't have too much hope in you're the older people right now. It's up to you guys to help us shape this future together. So.